Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to RSF1's the Tier 5 division. Welcomes you to the 12th round of the season. It is the British Grand Prix around Silverstone, the so-called team or track that everyone or most of the league wants to win. It's most of our home tracks, not everyone of course, because we are a widely populated league these days, but a lot of these guys want to win the race. Also it's a very good track as well, so I'm definitely looking forward to things ahead of us. A fast flowing circuit with plenty of overtaking, a lot of straight line speed that we're going to see as well. Could there be a potential of rain? Possibly. The English weather that we all know and love could throw in a little spanner in the works, but either way, I am definitely very much excited for this. I'm RSF1 Rubens, also known as Michael. I am by myself for the time being tonight. I could be joined by someone, maybe not, but you got me. So, and as I said, definitely looking forward to it. Another installment of this very intriguing Tier 5 division, where any week that we come to one of these circuits, a different winner could present themselves. We've had so many different multiple winners. A few have left, obviously. Double and Invade from a few weeks ago, they're in Tier 4. They're doing pretty well in Tier 4, actually, setting very nicely, which is good to see. But we are here once again. So yeah, 17 drivers here tonight, another good turnout. Clear skies to begin with as we get things ready and up. So he's going to be one of the first out in here. So let me just get up the championship standings before I then get up the stream. Let's hope we can have a good race today. Hope everyone is okay. As we head out, looks like Andy Yuzgin, our championship leader going into this race, is first out. And he, after his great win last time out in Austria, has now a 36-point lead. So he can have an awful race tonight and still be leading the championship by a considerable way. So the chasing pack, which includes Tedist, McCracken and Raikkonen and Tacticals, need to have a good race tonight to really get going. We've just gone halfway throughout the season, so you don't want to allow the championship leader to move away too much. As I say that, Andy Yuzkin cuts the corner there, but yeah, hopefully he can have a good qualifying session. He's only been on pole once, but seems to be a good qualifier and just stays out of trouble. The consistency is working for him. 6 podiums this season as well, so deserves to be at the top. As I said, 36 points ahead of Tedist. McCracken, Andy Yuzkin's teammate, had a very good race last time out. There he is in the other Renault. 3rd place. So he is hanging about close to his teammate. Whether he can overhaul his teammate remains to be seen. I think he's very much capable of doing so. But they're both doing very well in the Constructors, as you would expect, 1st and 3rd in the championship. Then come the 2 Ferraris. Raikkonen, after his string of very good results, including 4 podiums so far this season, been so close to a win, as well as Raikkonen. Can he break his duck this season? I think he has potential to do so, but where would it be? We'll see. He's on 89 points. He's a point ahead of his teammate Tacticals, who is another one who has yet to win a race, but has been so close so far. Then come the 2 racing points. Source ahead of Lincoln, 80 points for Source, 76 for Lincoln. Lincoln is a fascinating story because he was the only driver that has scored points in all races of the season. That was up until Baku, and now he hasn't scored any points in the last 4 races. He has changed assists since Baku, so that is some reasoning behind it, but yeah, he's got to get back in the points pretty soon, I think. After them, you got Dano in the McLaren, who has really shone in the Tango Orange team. Obviously won in France and then got 7th last time out in Austria. Was very disappointed with that result. But yeah, he's really settled in to Tier 5 as Dano. Behind Dano is Hippo in the Alfa Romeo, 52 points for him. Then it's your boy Prio on 42. Oh, as Source early going has just dropped it in the old turn 1. Where am I going to see that? There he is, old turn 1. And he's dropped it. Very easy to do so, but that is not what Source needs at all. So he would be taking no further part in qualifying as Andy Yuzkin sets 25.4 to kick things off. Very unfortunate for RSF1 Source there, but that old turn 1 has been causing so many problems. Probably cause problems for me tomorrow as well, knowing my luck. Yeah, things are not going well for Source to begin with, but of course he's got the race to look forward to. Daniel is next on 39 points, just 2 points ahead of Invade on 37. Then come to the two Haas drivers of Destroyer on 24 and X-Mando on 28. Immortal on 9 points, Orphan on 7, Force Minion on 5, and the rest are yet to score, including RSF1 Locker, who is back in the Mercedes once again. So yeah, hopefully those three can get off the mark tonight. As for the constructors, as you'd expect, Renault have the lead on 250 points. They are 48 ahead of their closest rivalry, Ferrari. I mean, Racing Point used to be their rival, but Racing Point has dropped to 4th place now, behind Williams. And Williams are starting to go on strong with Tedis and your boy Peru, so doing well for them. McLaren are kind of in the no man's land in 5th on 89 points. But then, after them is a big cluster of cars, as Locker has a big sideways moment, old turn 1. Also got Renault in the background, just getting well out of the way. Yeah, the cluster of cars in this Constructors' Championship, you got AlphaTauri on 56, a point ahead of the Haas, 55. They're a few points Alfa Romeo on 52. Then you got Mercedes on 50, and Red Bull on 48. So, very, very close there. Of course, all the teams haven't had a good run to the season so far, but they've got plenty of time to turn things around. Right, just going to get the stream up. Who's on a lap? Well, you got Lincoln, I think, should be on a better lap. Yeah, he's 6 seconds up on his 1:35, so I would assume he's going to much improve here. He's going to set a 26.1, nearly losing it on the last corner. I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but that looked very scary as he headed towards the pit lane wall. 26.1, Andy Yuzkin, the only guy in the 25s at the moment, so a bit of extra pace for the time being. Is everybody pushing? Will be the other question. So stream is up, so if you have any comments and hellos or give us a wave or anything else like that, then feel free. So it's up and running now. Hopefully everything sounds and looks okay. Obviously I don't have the quality of yesterday with Raikkonen in the 1080p, but should be okay and stable. Be right on board with Dano through the old front straight here. You can still see the grid markings on there. Yes, Source, I know you bend it. I saw that you bend it in old turn 1. Very disappointed I was. Almost sound like Yoda then. Yeah, hopefully you can bring some points in the race there, Source. Still got the race ahead of you. Dano heads down the hangar straight. This right hand bend, very, very quick. You just got to turn the car in and hope it sticks, and it kind of does. You can run a little bit off the curb on the left hand side, but not too much, obviously there. Two Haas drivers go 3rd and 4th. Mando head of Destroyer. And here comes Dano. He sets a 26.0 to get best of the rest at the moment. Again, nobody else touching the 25s at the moment. Andy Yuzkin looking quite strong in the early going. Tacticals in that lap. Right, let's run board with the tacticals for a full lap around Silverstone here. Got to get the best exit out of this last corner onto the front straight into turn 1. You've got to have complete confidence in your car that it's going to stick flat to the road. It's completely flat turn 1 and 2. Then into turn 3, which I believe is Field Curve or something like that. I completely forget the turn names. Turn 4, again, the loop in 2nd gear, short shift on the exit. completely flat through turn 5, and then on to the Wellington straight, I believe this is. And the Yuskin safely retires, and then into this quick left-hander. Again, it's all about carrying the speed. Don't run too far deep into this corner because you want to get the good exit for the straight. You can take a wide entry. Oh, and that is a very skeptical corner cut, but a very greedy one nonetheless, because you weren't really going to get anything there, Tacticals. It's not how you do it, my friend. But yeah, his lap is gone, I'm afraid. Raikkonen, where is Raikkonen right now? He's just on an outlap at the moment. Immortal's just gone through the old turn 1. Now this is the make or break or lap. This is the most satisfying bit of the lap as well, if you can get it right. It's the Magnussen-Beckett section. Got to get the exit. He's got a heap load of traffic though, which might put him off a little bit. Trying to get a little slipstream from the Williams. Yeah, if you really hit that section up, that left, right, left of Magnussen-Beckett's and the exit, it's really, really satisfying. Then obviously the right-hander there. Then into the final chicane. Can be a little bit awkward because obviously those curbs, don't want to hit them too much. Obviously the last corner, you don't want to throw it over as well because that can send you into the pit lane wall. 26 from 7 from Immortal. Goes right behind Daniel for the time being. Force Manuel's retired on a 27 flat, which might be in a bit of danger as soon as the other times come through. Tacticals is going again on his lap, which would make sense. It's no point really getting another set of tyres. Should be able to do enough on this set. You see that right-hander there. You don't want to go over that white line on the right-hand side because you see the damage here. Old turn 1. Ideally, you got to get it flat, but you've seen already it can be very easy to slide off as the car gets very unstable and uneasy. The key is the exit through that section there that Tactical's just gone through. You have to get the exit right, because if you don't, obviously you're going to lose so much time all the way down this straight and into the chicane, just past the pit lane. Car feels a little bit loose on the rear, really chucking it around, but it seems to be getting him time, and he goes to 5th on a 26.3. Still Andy Yuskin, the only one in the 25s at the moment. Again, looking very, very strong. And going Stars Orphan in the McLaren. I've always got to praise Stars Orphan because he very rarely gives up. He always pushes, never really complains in the league either. He just gets on with it. 28-0 from Orphan, puts him 12th at the moment. And you got both Williams at the moment. Your boy sets a 142, just a little bit of a banker lap before he gets going again. How is Raikkonen gets on? Raikkonen gets to a 26.7. Now, he said Raikkonen, even though he's been in good form lately, he does not like Silverstone whatsoever. So I think he's just getting through this race, is Raikkonen, to see what he can get from it. 9th at the moment, on a 26.7. Is reasonable, I think, but looking by the general pace. But yeah, so he'll be very surprised if he's able to get on the podium once again. Very pro. Old turn 1, and you can see just on the broadcast camera as you go through that corner, the rear end of the car just doesn't look flat. And that's not really to do the driver or the setup, it's just the way this game is sometimes. Oh! There goes your boy! Oh, he's off! And he's out! The exit of Magnussen-Beckett, and he's gone in a big, big way. Oh. Just on the exit curve, the car, you could just see, you knew as soon as he was going off at that high speed, you knew he was going to go into the wall, and your boy Prue is out in that Williams, and he's not going to be very happy with that whatsoever. Puts less pressure now on those going through the Q2. Yeah, he's got a long, long evening ahead of him. From the rear of the good, he'll be joining Source on the back row of the two that will be eliminated. So the rest, so Tennis and Locker, just need to set reasonable lap times, and then we're done. We're in the Q1. real shame to see in a big accident. There, as Tennis gets nicely through the old turn 1. See how he gets through. Magnussen Beckett's goes by where his teammate went off, and I think his teammate just caught the grass there. You could very easily just catch it on the left side, and you're just a passenger as soon as you're off. Locker goes second on a 26-0, so well done from Locker in the Mercedes. Goes right up there. So that's good from him. Forced back into the league now is Locker. Has yet to score since his return. Ted is very understeery through the last corner, but sets a 26-0 just ahead of Raikkonen. But he is safely through, and that's what matters, I think. He will bring it into the pits, I believe. And that should be it, really. The top 15 all safely through. And that would be the end of it. So, this morning I actually went through the rest of all the stats from the tiers of the divisions. You know, pole positions, wins and podiums and that kind of thing. Something that actually passed me by in tier 5 in particular is Source. Because we're talking about him because he obviously crashed first off. He's got 5 pole positions in this season, which is very, very good. He's saying in the chat, first time this season I'm not in Q3. Well, it just happened like that again. It was just it looked to be like a simple slide, which I've seen so many people lose at that corner. So again, don't feel too disheartened there, Source, with that. But still, I think Source is capable to still get points. From 17th it would be. Of course, the only disappointment is he's got to be waiting for the whole of Q2 and Q3. So that's obviously the big downside if you're out of Q1. Raikkonen seems to be going on another out lap. The rest are in the pits. You've got Kabuki and Locker yet to retire. Aiming for top 7, says Source in the chat. Well, take my hat off if you do that. 15 viewers at the moment. I will assume it will spike up by the time we get to the race. No sign of any rain, I don't think, if the clouds are anything to go by. And I know it's weird kind of looking at whether there's any clouds around, but the way it works in this game now, you can see them gathering. Normally means rain. Yeah, Raikkonen doing a little exhibition lap. I think it's just a little bit more practice. He wants a bit more time, and he does find a bit more time. 700ths in the first sector. Yeah, he doesn't really need to do this, but obviously he's preparing for Q2 and Q3 onwards, which is perfectly fine, as long as he doesn't crash it, which is, if that's a commentator's curse, I hope not. For old turn 1. Flat, I think. Might have been a little bit of a lift. Then through Magnussen Beckett's section. Camera kind of cuts away, so you have to go on board with this. He's finding a bit more time. A couple of tenths here. That'll put him kind of in the top 10. Yeah, obviously compared to the last few weeks, he's just trying to get through this race, it seems. Into the chicane as well. I think this is one of the circuits as oh, he goes to 5th, so that's a much better time. Puts him in amongst the mix. Again, he's the only one on track at the moment. Kabuki is yet to retire, but I would assume he will do so in a bit. But yeah, Q1 is going to be over, and we will be losing Source and your boy Prio, both dramatically crashing out in this session. Dano not overly happy with my lap, but not too bad. That's good to hear from Dano. Currently P3 in the McLaren. The other stat as well that I looked at my results of Tier 5 is the Renault team. Obviously, top of the constructors at the moment, Mandy, Yuskin and McCracken, both very consistent. There's only been 3 races where we haven't had a Renault on a podium. Those three being, we'll just go over it again. The Dutch Grand Prix, where McCracken was 4th and Andy Usigan was 9th. Monaco, where Andy was 5th and McCracken didn't score. And Baku, where Andy was 5th and McCracken didn't score. Shows the consistency these two have been and have put themselves in a good position for the championship, but we still have a long way to go. We still have some very notable, prolific tracks yet to come up this season. So, including obviously Hungary next time out. We've got Belgium in a couple of weeks. We've got Monza after that. Singapore. Yeah, you really need to be on it on Singapore, especially if it's raining as well. And of course, you've got America as well, which is quite good. Japan, although I don't really like that one, but hey ho. And of course, you've got the Abu Dhabi finale. And a few weeks after that, we'll be looking forward to the next game, which is fun times ahead. Obviously, the new track's available on that and everything. We've had a few details already before, but all looking good. And in Q1, your boy Prue in 16th and the Williams 17th for Source, both crashing out. They will have some work to do from the back row of this grid. Both are very capable of getting the points though, so obviously they just got to put qualifying to one side and all for the best. But at the top, Andy Usigan solidly in the 25s, the only driver in the 25s so far. Apart from that, everything looks very, very close there. So well, already a prediction from Wise Phoenix in the chat. Andy Usigan, Dano and Locker, the top three. Okay. Normally we don't see that until Q3, Phoenix, because obviously we know who is in the top 10. Not saying that's a good prediction, because I think it is. Dano says, don't know the strategy. Saul saying hards to mediums. Conservative. Hippo saying, just want to say good luck to everyone, and SM Dano. Sauce to mediums, yep. Hint, Dano, if you're listening, if you want to have a quick look at the previous race last night, or the night before, then there's that one. It's not, I'm not saying that, you know, to be, you know, harsh, or be sarcastic. It's a genuine, you know, the previous races, basically, are the ideal strategy. Speaking of, where's the tyres? There's the tyres. Kabuki out on the sauce for the time being. A few on the mediums. Got Destroyer and a Haas on the mediums as well. Yes, ideal strategy is completely different than what I thought it was at the start of the week. I mean, F2 and F3 showed already this week that softs to mediums is very much possible. You still got to be careful on your tyre wear, as you always need to do. But yeah, mediums to hards basically if you're absolutely terrible at tyre wear. I mean, it's the more safest convention. We've also seen as well, if we get an early safety car like before lap 10, pit in for hard is probably the best thing to do. The thing is around here, and it kind of brings it down a little bit in terms of league racing, 50% distance, is two-stop is just, no, you don't even touch a two-stop, because the pit lane is so slow. It's 37 miles an hour and it's a very long pit lane. You just lose far too much time in the pit lane for a two-stop. You just don't get everything back, as we saw in I think it was yesterday actually. Those that didn't pit, even though they were on softs and they were like a second and a half lap quicker than those chasing, they couldn't do anything because they were like 20 seconds deficit when they came out. It's too much of a gap to catch back. So simple one stop, and it kind of means everyone is on the same page. So expect to see pretty close racing, DRS trains potentially as well, but that could also mean potential for incidents as well. Not saying that these guys will, but it's just the proximity of the racing. Rice Phoenix. Medium and hard is the safe strategy in case you're not good at saving your compounds, but in case you're good at saving your compounds, go medium to soft. Yeah, again, Last couple of nights we've had, it's kind of... Because I think, what was it, F2, Muddy Biscuit did softs to mediums. Now, he's very good on tyre wear. But he went from lap 7 or 8, I think it was, to mediums, which was a very big feat. And apparently his tyre wear wasn't that high either, but he is very, very good. He's kind of like the top end of the tyre gods, if you like, in terms of saving them. The way I see it really is if you go mediums to hards, you don't have to save your tyres, so you can push like 100%. Yes, you'd be slower, but you know, if you're worrying too much about tyre wear, it kind of hampers your driving a little bit. 26.6 for Destroyer on the mediums. It's a pretty solid time, but we've got to see others coming through. McCracken is a tenth slower than Destroyer. Then comes Lincoln in the Racing Point on the same tyres. Kabuki on the softs goes third. I think he will need to improve on that lap time. Here comes Lincoln. I think it's going to go top. He does. 26.4 again. Nearly pitches it to the wall. Immortal's had an off with... Oh, what's happened here with Raikkonen? Raikkonen 5-place grid penalty. Immortal's off into the wall and out. And a grid penalty for Raikkonen. What has gone on there? Has Raikkonen got damage on his front wing? He does. They must have connected in some way. I am Mr. Sherlock and I can detect that they had contact in some way. I don't know how that's happened. A miscommunication, obviously. But Raikkonen's getting well out of the way. Or I say well out of the way. Nearly got in front of Vex Mando there. But not what Raikkonen needs. Did, incidents did... Yeah, there you can see Raikkonen grid panel beaten up, but not for Immortal. But of course, Immortal straight out and retirement. Blimey. Developments. Not very good there. Tacticals in the other Ferrari just sees his teammate who's trying to give him a little bit of a slipstream, I guess. Although it was a little bit awkward because Raikkonen, as you saw, bouncing over the grass on the right hand side. See Mando, 26.6 on the softs. Again, we'll probably need to improve on that time. I think you need to be low 26s on the softs. Tacticals goes to third in the Ferrari. Decent time from him. Andy. There goes Andy. A 25.6 on medium tyres. That is a stonking is the word I'm going to use, lap from Andy Yuzkin there. That is going to send shivers down the spine of every driver tonight because that is ridiculous pace. What did he set in Q1? That's almost as good as his soft tyre run. Jeez, Andy Yuzkin is on it tonight. Absolutely on it. Doesn't always mean race victory, mind you. It'd be quick in qualifying, but you've got to do it in the race. The race is what counts, but... Oh, he's definitely on it today. Dano McLaren. Can you get anywhere near him? Dano was second in Q1. Slight lift through old turn 1 there. I don't think that was a sort of manual lift. It's just the way the tyres kind of didn't embed into the track a little bit. Nicely through the middle part of Magnussen Beckett's. Nice on the exit as well. You can tell that you got your car really set up for that section where all you have to do is just flick down a couple of gears. Don't need to turn the car too much. It's all about the flow for that left, right, left section. Again, so satisfying if you can really hook it up. See what Dano can do. Goes 26.5. See, 9/10 behind Andy Yuzkin. So, made a 1 minute 25.5. Yes, he's a 10th down, Andy Yuzkin, than his soft run in Q1. That says everything about the pace. Whether he was holding back in Q1, or whether he's just hooked that lap up. Still very good, and he can easily go by as Lockyer has a nice little... I say nice, not nice for him. 360 spin on old turn 1. Another guy to lose it there. Luckily for him, though, managed to catch it. So it's alright. Just manages to get out of the way of the Haas of the no, that would be Destroyer on an outlap. Oof, got a good camera angle of that 360 spin as well, so not what Locker needs, but again, managed to save it. Gets another bite at the cherry. Had just a bit of a wobble through the loop of turn 3 and 4. Again, no, Tedist last time out had a very difficult race in Austria, 9th place. I believe he got caught out in the shuffle in the opening few laps. So it's kind of key for him and the others, Kraken, Raikkonen Tacticals, they don't let Andy Yuzkin get away too much, because otherwise Andy would have too much of a gap to close once they do start catching him. All credit to Andy though. So far so good for him. Force Manure retires on the 27-1, currently 9th, right on the bubble. Well, no, Kabuki's on the bubble, but I think Force Manure will be under a bit of pressure at that lap time. Deciding that'll do, thinking strategy, of course. That is just coming through the end of the lap, a little bit of a lock-up into the chicane. Coming over the line, and a 26-4. See, this is the thing. The podium's going to be interesting because it's 3 tenths separating 2nd to 9th at the moment, all on different tyres as well. But you can see the same compounds is very, very close. So I think Tedis might be safe with that. I'm pretty sure actually he would be safe. Let's see, Raikkonen's got... who's that in the house behind him? That's Destroyer, who I think has just finished a lap. Yeah, he's just invalid as well, so Raikkonen shouldn't have any bother from the house driver behind. But he sets off on his lap, already got that 5th place grid penalty on him. So he's now got to qualify very well. He's got to get solidly in that top 10, but step 1, he's got to get through on these mediums. 27.2 first sector is solid enough. Who else is on that? You got Kabuki on a fresh set of softs. Currently in 12th. Locker is now on the bubble. Force Manure is out on a 27.1, but obviously wanted to either qualify on mediums or I'm outside the top 10 kind of thing. Tacticals, I think, is going to do a little bit of slipstream. I can see him on the mini-map. On the exit, Maggots and Beckett's is all going to be whether Raikkonen hooks this up, and he does. So now his reward is the slipstream. Here we go, Ferrari teamwork with Tacticals. That should help him on a little bit. Turning right at the end of the hanger straight, then into the chicane. He's got to hook up the chicane. He's got to accept the slipstream and follow it through. And it's going to be a 26.5 on the medium tyres. He might be in a bit of danger here. As I said, you can see very close. Destroyer's actually got close to Andy Yuzkin. He's 7 thousandths behind, but he's on the softs. Which again says a lot about Andy's time. X-Mando sets a decent time on a 26.3, so that's pretty good. 10th ahead of Tedist on the same tyres. So the house driver's looking very good tonight. Kabuki is a few tenths up. Can he get into the top 10? No, stays 12th on a 2nd lap on the softs. Just realised it's gotten slightly more cloudy than before. It's got a bit more darker. So 2.5 minutes to go now. We got McCracken at this moment in time, although he's on a lap at the moment. He's 10th on the bubble. Could get a bit of surprises here because it's all very close. And you can see a lot of people have just got onto the best tyres, as you can see on the graphic there. That's the current best lap times in terms of the tyres, but you can see when I go on fitted, a lot of people now are thinking, right, we're in danger, need to go on softs, need to improve. McCracken's one of them. Does not want to be knocked out of Q2, most definitely. Hooks it up through Manka's Beckers. A 102.1 is very good. This is a 25, I think, which will put him safely through, but how far into the 25s is it going to be? We'll soon see. Is that Raikkonen in the pits? Yes, it is. It'll be hard push to get back out. Again, I think both Ferraris are done. 7th and 8th. Might be a bit of pressure. McCracken goes to first on a 25.607. A couple of hundredths ahead of his teammate. Soft tyres, but he is safely through. So now that puts Daniel in the Red Bull in 10th at the moment. Locker is out at the moment, but he's on a lap as well. It's all very close. But Dano is trying to improve as well. I said though, both Ferraris are out. Kabuki is out as well. He will start 12th. As is Orphan. So it's down to Locker and Daniel, really. It's kind of a straight fight between the pair. But if they both improve... If Raikkonen's actually gone through, if they both improve, Daniel and Locker, they will knock Tacticals out by the smallest of margin. So we've got to keep an eye on this. Daniel 9 thousandths down in the first sector. Who else you also got? You've got Daniel, you've got Dano, sorry, Lincoln, and I don't know why Destroyer's on another lap, because he's on 3 lap softs, which is might be a bit of a danger for the race for him. And you're nicely through old turn 1. Jump to Locker in a little bit. See the other guy. That could really shake up this top 10. See how Daniel gets through. Middle sector timing board. He's 2 tenths up. Locker is nearly 2 tenths up in the first sector. So Locker and Daniel are both on a good lap here. Both are doing enough currently to knock Tacticals out. So Tacticals will be looking at these two and hoping they mess up. I don't think Daniel's gonna do so. He's got one more corner to go, and he goes 4th, easily safe. It's now down to Locker the Mercedes, and he's invalidated. What a shame for Locker. He is out in the Mercedes, which means Tacticals goes through and breathes a sigh of relief. So both Ferraris scrape through in the end. Dano can back off if he wants to. Lincoln goes 25.5 in the sauce. Dano does not back off and goes to 25.4 on the soft tyres. So very good for him. Destroyer's now done 4 laps on his... Is that his best? That is. Why are you still going round, Destroyer, on the same tyres? That's going to be painful the start of the race. Goodness me. Right, so best tyres. So going through on the mediums. Andy, of course, I didn't think he was going to ever drop down that far. But that time, Mando, Tedist, and both Ferraris going through by a couple of tenths. Very unfortunate for Locker. I think he was definitely capable on those softs to go through. So Dano, Lincoln, McCracken, Daniel, all on softs. Destroyer on 4 lap softs. That's not what I would do, Destroyer, but what he wanted to do. And there, though. And there's the thing, you can see the 5-place grid penalty. That's not going to help Raikkonen going forward, so he's going to have to qualify well in this Q3. There is Locker, unfortunately out in the Mercedes, although he's gone fresh tyres, so that is a benefit for him going to the race. And then you've got Kabuki in 12th, Force Manure 13th, Starzorf in 14th, and Immortal with the crash, I think, earlier on in 15th place. And there is your top 10. Dano, fastest time so far on a 25.4. Alright, Q3. This is where obviously the pressure mounts up. I'm just going to go onto my stats in terms of pole position to see whether we do have anybody that can obviously improve on their pole position record that they got at the moment. Right, let's have a look-see. So in terms of pole positions, obviously Source is on the 5. Tacticals is on 2 pole positions, Tedist is on 2, and Andy is on 1 pole position so far, which I believe he got all the way back in Bahrain. I'm correct. So, apart from that, all the rest in this top 10 have yet to be on pole position. But really, I think all the money, if you had it, is Andy Yuzkin. Really shown the pace so far tonight. All the pressure's on him. He's still got to nail the lap in this session, and this is where all the pressure comes on you, because you've got to deliver. And he will be the first driver to set a lap. Behind him is his closest rival, Tedist, who I think at this point is going to be monitoring how Andy gets on with his lap. Again, he's got to make sure Andy Yuzkin doesn't get too far away in the championship. Behind him, we've got Xmando, everyone out on track apart from the Ferrari of Raikkonen, who's decided to leave it a little bit later. Gets a little bit more track space ahead of him. So let's see what Andy Yuzkin can do as he starts off his lap. Almost breaks the gearbox by jumping down a couple of gears there. You can see Teddy's got a little bit closer there as he starts off his lap. There he goes into turn 1. Is it flat? Of course it is. Completely flat. You can saw very little in terms of wheel movement there. Very smooth. Nice through the loop. Drops down to second gear. Short shifts a little bit as well on the exit. And then widen the corner, shut the car in, keep the speed up, don't run too far deep into this corner. You can take a kind of wide line to get the exit. Nicely done, not too far on the right hand side. Interesting line before old turn 1, but swings the car in, just keeps it on the track limits as well. It's very easy to run wide through there, and just the understate that you get through, but he's turned too far into the exit of Magnus and Beckett's there, so we'll jump on board with Tedis, who will be setting the first lap. And he gets well out of the way onto the grass as well, not giving any slipstream opportunity to Tedis behind him. Let's see what Tedis can do in the Williams. 26.3 is a decent banker lap. Not Destroyer, Xmando behind him. 25.8 sets the early benchmark. Dano 25.8, Destroyer 25.7. So the house boys, the house drivers, first and second at the moment. They have looked quick. In amongst them, at the top, Lincoln 25.0. Fastest lap by, well, a fair few tenths. Tacticals go to second on 25.4, but Lincoln in the Racing Point. Where has that come from? Why me? It was 25. Yeah, we haven't seen a 24 yet, but my goodness me from Lincoln. He's really hooked that lap up. Pressure for everyone else now. Raikkonen, who came out late in the start of this, gave himself plenty of space, plenty of concentration, goes to 4th. So good from him. He really needs to be in the top 5, I think, Raikkonen, to minimise the damage he's going to get from that grid penalty. Still don't know what happened with that. Very confused. But good stuff. And that leaves just the 2 Renaults. And Andy Yuzkin and McCracken are both invalidated on their laps. So yeah, Hippo, correct. He does have Good one lap pace behind him, but he's yet to have a pole position this season. That's Lincoln. Could this be the day? Could this be the day he corrects that record? Destroyer has already done 2 laps on his tyres. He's going to go for a third. It seems like he is. Maybe he just likes to do multiple laps on his tyres. Yeah, 3 times down though. Everyone is heading back into the pits. All of a sudden, it's quite quiet actually. We wait, well, not for too long, because X-Mando's straight out on another set of tyres. Don't know whether we would get another chance to go again, although one of the Renaults is coming out as well. That's Andy Yuzkin, and it's good strategy for Andy. He just needs to get a lap on the board. Yeah, we'll be seeing that time with Lincoln and be thinking, right, I really need to be on it actually now. He can top every session of this qualifying. It's actually first time I've kind of seen both Renaults in sort of pressure. I mean, they've got plenty of time. Just under 5 minutes, so they've got plenty of time to do 1, maybe 2 laps, but normally they're straight on it straight away, and you can see how easy it is to invalidate your lap there on board X-Mando. Just run very slightly wide, but because you're carrying so much speed, even an inch off of that corner, it's like the game's like, nah, I can't do that lap. You see how close it is as well. Very impressive to see. A couple of tenths from 3rd to 7th at the moment. By the way, if anybody in the chat is kind of vaguely interested in the football scores, and am I correct in saying that Brighton and Chelsea are 0-0? And I am focused on this race, I'm just, you know, curious, because I've got it on my phone at the moment as well, the live score. Andy, as I said, a little bit of pressure for the Renault driver at the moment. Probably got many eyes watching him as well, almost expecting him to either be front row or pole position with the time he's been setting so far. Let's see what both Renaults can do. Currently they've got the championship rivals, Ferrari, 2nd and, well, 9th technically for Raikkonen at the moment, but 2nd and 4th. A bit of pressure, a little bit of short shifting through that right-hander just to get the perfect exit. Of course, in hot lap and max fuel, got to get the most out of the car, especially at this circuit. This circuit is kind of interesting because obviously you want the low front aero for the straight line speed. A little bit of understeer through the exit, through the corner, but still quite quick. 101.8, that's one of the quickest through the middle sector I've seen tonight. Despite all that slight lift of confidence through the right hand at the end of Hangar Straight. X-Mando goes 3rd. Needs to be a bit of a battle between the two Haas drivers and the Ferrari, but here comes Andy Yuzkin and goes 2nd. Behind Lincoln, so that says everything about Lincoln's time. Andy's been quite quick tonight, a 10th behind, so Lincoln just holds him off, and Lincoln is on an outlap to possibly improve as McCracken cuts the last corner and is now in trouble because he's missed the pit lane entrance. Is that next lap as well? Yeah, so he's got to really back off, no ERS, save the fuel as well, and he's going to have 1 lap to put it inside the top 10, otherwise he's going to be starting in 10th place. So there is pressure for or at least one of the Renaults from McCracken. Who else we got on our lap? We've got both house drivers as well. Although they're down a couple of tenths each. Tacticals on an outlap. Everyone's on a lap, or at least on an outlap at the moment. Dennis has backed off. Right, Dano and the McLarens looked pretty quick in Q2. Only 7th at the moment, but that's how close it is. I mean, a 10th will put him 4th. Again, quite close. Between kind of middle of the top 10 at the moment. Although there's a 10th between the two people challenging for pole. Andy Yuskin does a second lap but doesn't improve. So I think this is all Lincoln's unless someone else can find a little bit more. Lincoln is on an outlap to try and improve, so he may even put it into a 24, which would be very impressive. Dano Fun didn't get the turn in just right. Tedis has retired in the pit lane, so Tedis is 8th at best. That's not what he wants at all. Safe go through Dano, Fu, Magnussen, Beckett. You've got... Who's this coming in? There's the Haas about to finish the lap as well. Let's jump on board. It was Destroyer, and he doesn't improve. We'll jump Dano. This is 7th. Well, yeah, because of Raikkonen's grid penalty at the moment, but yeah. Here comes Dano, improves to a 25.6 to go 4th. That's a bit better from him. X-Mando, I think, is next. Time is up in Q3. Lincoln has retired. He thinks that's just going to be it. X-Mando stays 5th. Who's going to be next? McCracken on his... Oh no, it's Andy. It's Andy, and he was down. He was down anyway. So, can anybody stop Lincoln's potential pole? Won't be Daniel. He's invalidating his lap. Who's coming up next? It's one of the Ferraris. It's Tacticals, and he's a 10th.5 down. Is anyone improving? Destroyer's invalidated. Raikkonen is a couple of tenths up. He's now still a couple of tenths up. We'll put him 4th in the top 5 where he needs to be. Bracken's on a decent middle sector. So Tacticals stays 3rd for the moment. Destroyers invalidates. So yes, down to Raikkonen. Where can he go? Can he get solidly in the top 5? Minimise the damage of his grid penalty. He goes 5th, which will be 10th. So he's not really done it. But here comes McCracken. Can he do anything? Stays 10th. And that will be 9th. But the one and only lap. And he couldn't do anything to improve his position. Will be up because of the penalty for Raikkonen, but still 10th for McCracken. But Lincoln takes his first pole of the season, just under a 10th in the end, to what is that? 800ths to Andy Yuskin. Oh, well, most of us predicted that Andy was going to be on pole here because of the time he's been setting, but that lap from Lincoln, I wish I should have been on board with it. Really nailed it down, but good session for Lincoln. Front row with Andy Yuskin. Tacticals in P3. He'll be very happy with that. With Dano in 4th. Raikkonen will drop down, so it'll be then the two Haas drivers in 5th and 6th on the same row. 7th will be Tedist, 8th Daniel, 9th Kraken, and Raikkonen in 10th place. Oh. Well, Lincoln. Very, very nice pole position. A 25.076 in the end from him. Very, very nice. Let's see if I can get him into the party. Then we can have a word with him. But there is your top 10. Of course, remember, Raikkonen will drop down. So, Lincoln and Andy on the front row. Tacticals and Daniel row 2. An all-house row 3 of Mando ahead of Destroyer. Tedist 7th, 8th Daniel, 9th Kraken, and Raikkonen in 10th place. Lincoln, include your audio, please. And congratulations, I believe that is your first pole this season. And what a lap. We all thought after Q1 and Yeah, we all thought after Q1 and Q2 that Andy Yuskin would be on pole. You shut us all up. That lap. Yeah, but where? Uh, don't take me that. Don't take me that. Don't take this the wrong way. Where did that lap come from? Because, as I said, oh, yeah, but very, very good. Obviously, I mentioned at the start of this stream, you were the only driver that had scored in every round up until Monaco, and then it's all Baku, and then it's all. I'm trying to find a kind word or kindish word to it, but yeah. So you got to be thinking now. Even if I can't win this race, still good points possibly from this situation. Hmm. Yeah, because that's the thing. You've changed assist since Monaco, haven't you? I believe. What did you turn off? Oh, you've changed the wheel. Yes, of course. And yeah, I know that because it's obviously hand-eye coordination. You've got to think of several things at one time. So yeah, so obviously you got used to that over the last few weeks. Do you feel they can't hear you? They can't hear you after all that. Yeah, it's that stupid thing if you join midway through. Anyway, good luck in your race. We'll speak to you later if possible. If I can fix this. Yay. Right. Alright. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the stream, everyone. Stay where you are. It's just going to refresh itself. I'm just going to reset it so it fixes it for later with the interviews, because obviously that happens sometimes with the audio, so on and so forth. So apologies for Lincoln. He's very, very happy. He just wants to score good points today. Yeah, he's very happy in general. Let's hope he can score some points because he's got to follow it through the race. So be right back. Literally 10 seconds.